every crown stands for something greater.
And now our candidates take the stage to embody that vision about peace, unity, and harmony.
In a world of noise, voices of peace must be louder. 15 women rise as beacons. Each word, a bridge. Each breath, a torch. They speak not to compete, but to unite. From every island, one chorus. Peace is not a dream, it is a choice. And tonight, that choice takes the stage.
Miss Grand Alabang Muntinlupa.
Wars don't begin with weapons. They begin with words. I know this because I've been bullied. I've been called ugly, told I was worthless, and labeled as a girl with no future. But tonight, I stand not as a victim, but as a voice. A voice for awareness and change. If we truly want to stop wars, we should start by preventing bullying. When we teach empathy and respect at home, in schools, and in our communities, we plant the seeds of peace. Let us not let war teach us the cause of hate, because peace begins when bullying ends. Thank you.
Miss Grand Ilocos Region.
In a world full of darkness and negativity, I hope that you keep that light within you. Even if it's just a flicker, nurture it so that it can be a fire that can lighten up the lives of others. No matter how you think your actions are small, it matters and it makes a difference. So keep that fire within you. And according to the United Nations, children who grew up in places of conflicted are more likely to be victims of out of school, be malnourished, as compared to children who grew up in places of peace. So you keep that fire within you to help them. Use your voice to stop normalizing these wars, because it is our right to call out these injustices. And in doing so, we help them and give them a helping hand. Thank you.
Miss Grand Bamban Tarlac.
War and violence is not a stranger to us Bambanenses. Bamban bears a deep scars of war. During the 1945, our municipality faced a devastating experience of our history. A whisper of stories of unbreakable bravery, faith, and profound human kindness. Despite all of these experiences, we Bambanenses remain positive, compassion, and brave. And this is a reminder for all of us that while we remember and honor our history, let us not forget our goal, a world that is hopeful, calm, and far from conflict. And for Bamban and for everyone who knows the shadow of war, lasting peace is not just an idea. It is an absolute necessity that is good and hopeful for our future. Thank you so much.
Miss Grand, Quezon Province.
When I lost my mother at 12, I became the guardian of my brother with autism spectrum disorder. In his silence, I found my voice, and I realized that there are war beyond guns. It is the violence of exclusion, of being unheard and unseen. But awareness is not enough. We must build safe spaces on people on a spectrum for them to learn, to grow, to be seen and truly belong. As Miss Grand Philippines 2025, I carry this mission very close to my heart, to create a society where every children is not just accepted, but embraced and nurtured with love. Thank you.
Miss Grand, Davao Region.
Coming from Mindanao, I have lived among the voices that have fought for peace. And now, I bring that fighting spirit with me here on this stage. Because the real battle is not with weapons or with guns, but it is in how we respond to conflict and pain. We are all human, we all feel pain, and we all want peace. Yet somehow we have convinced ourselves that killing each other is the solution to, that is the only solution to, what do you think it is? Is that the only solution to peace? Because it is not. Peace is not impossible. What is impossible is surviving if we continue to choose war. War is not our natural habitat. As human beings, we can rise up because that is not who we are at our core. I want to say that everyone here, you have a voice, and I am doing that right now on this stage. Madayaw, daghang salamat.
Miss Grand, Bulacan.
Good evening. Everyone deserves to live free from fear and violence, yet many people stay in silence. I know this for a fact because I myself is a daughter of a survivor who stayed silent for a long time. Violence isn't just about physical abuse. It can be emotional, psychological, and economical abuse. That is why, as a law student and an advocate for RA 9262, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, I started a project called 𝑐Protect.ph, where we give emotional and legal advice for the victims. Together, let's create a world where no woman nor child will suffer in silence. Join me in this grand vision of mine. Thank you.
Miss Grand, Philcom Canada.
Let us all take a moment to reflect on the precious gift of peace. It is more than just about the absence of war. It's a chance for people to feel respected, safe, and a chance for people to live a good life. As a woman of color, I was discriminated a lot, but so did many people in different walks of life. I believe that war and violence can end if we live by MGI, mercy, goodwill, and inclusion each day. If we live by MGI, humanity will not just survive, it will shine brightly, beautifully, bravely, and boldly. So let's choose peace today, tomorrow, and for days to come. Choose peace to be our victory. Thank you.
Miss Grand Rizal Province.
Stop the war, stop the violence. These are not just words. These are prayers. These are dreams. I once wanted to be free, and this is my story. I was raised in a harsh environment due to drug abuse. I was exposed as a child, and it's not meant to be. It was never meant to be. But I seek silence in the greenery landscapes of Rizal to reconnect with myself and my family. And my grandmother taught me that peace does not always mean silence. It is about harmonizing our voices for peace, for each other. And in this, from the highest mountains of Rizal Province to the heart of the Philippines, I stand that peace is not weakness, it is wisdom. Thank you.
Miss Grand Zambales.
I've seen war, not just in battlefields, but in the face of poverty and inequality. Growing up with nothing, I know what it feels like to chase a dream on an empty stomach, to endure hunger and fight simply because life gave you no other choice. And it breaks my heart knowing that over 780 million people still live in this kind of silent war every single day. Let's all choose kindness over cruelty, empathy over judgment, and understanding over indifference. Because true peace can only be achieved if we address the main problem, and that is born with suffering, poverty, and injustice. When we choose kindness and love as our greatest weapon, we don't just end wars, but we begin healing. And one day, may that healing reach every home, so no child will ever have to sleep hungry again. And in that moment, war ends, and a new dawn of peace and humanity begins. Mabuhay!
Miss Grand Bicolandia.
This is to honor my father. June 14, 2018, when my father was murdered because of a simple misunderstanding that leads to violence. It changed my life in so many ways. And if this happened to my father, it can also happen to you. And it's already happening around the world. We badly need a peace talk and a refusal to fight over superiority. Because in war, there's no victory, but only the absence of love for humanity. Now, I stand here not only as a daughter who lost her father, but also as an empowered Filipina. We must create a bridge of understanding, be more compassionate to one another, and to create a world where everybody is loved and respected regardless of who they are. Because we don't need is soldiers of war. What we need are champions of peace. Thank you.
Miss Grand, Quezon City.
If war destroys lives, then peace must be the greatest gift that we can give. Imagine a child whose future is clouded by hunger, fear, and pain. While I am blessed to live a life and to dream in peace, many children out there live in fear of losing someone that they love every single day. War is more than just the sound of guns. It is the emptiness of classrooms, the silence of homes, and the tears of families. Violence grows when we choose hatred, when we choose to turn a blind eye on injustice, and when we stay silent. But when we amplify our voices for peace, we give hope, we save lives, and we show the world that love is stronger than anger, hate, and violence. We can be the light that shines at the end of a tunnel for women, for children, and for families. Maraming salamat po.
Miss Grand, Tarlac Province.
I am a firm believer that the fork and spoon are not always best to use in the table. Sometimes we have to use knife to cut things out in our life. But tonight, it's not about the fork, spoon, or knife. As a daughter of humanity, life is best served when we use our voices as our greatest armors to cut out the silenced dreams and families torn apart. Tonight, let us build a seat on the table where we speak for those who have been unplaced and serve strength to those who are too tired to fight for peace alone. As one nation, we do more than end war. We prepare for new history where table turns for humanity. Maraming salamat po na 𝑭𝒊𝒔𝒔.
Miss Grand, Taguig City.
War destroys cities, and violence can destroy the essence of a person's spirit. When we say stop the war and violence, it doesn't only pertain to nations at war with one another. I also consider the women who are afraid to go to and sleep in their own homes or even walk alone at night. According to the United Nations, 1 in 3 women will experience some form of physical and/or sexual violence in her lifetime. Please raise your hand with me if you are too a victim. I commend you for your bravery. In 2023, more than 51,000 women and girls were murdered. That's 140 lives lost every single day, not including the ones who have disappeared. In fact, 2 years ago, I stood in this very arena alongside a beauty queen batchmate sister of mine who later on went missing. Her story is a painful reminder that violence against women is here and it is real. So no, violence is not just about guns and bombs. It can be fear, it can be silence. And peace is not just about politics. Peace is safety, peace is respect. And peace as a collective is truly happens when we as a collective decide that every woman, every child, and every life is worth protecting. Thank you.
Miss Grand, Aklan.
no longer turn a blind eye to the countless lives that have been taken away in the war in Gaza, where the most innocent have suffered the greatest damage. Nearly 62,000 Palestinians have died, and beneath the rubble, more bodies lie unseen. We can no longer allow ourselves to become desensitized. Day after day, we scroll past casualty counts, lives reduced to statistics of rubble and bloodshed, forgetting that behind these numbers are 62,000 stories, 62,000 lives lived, future stolen. And these stories demand both our outrage and our compassion in recognition of our shared humanity. We can no longer stand aside. We must demand accountability from leaders, from nations, and even from ourselves to rally not just behind the victims of the war, but we should be rallying beside them. Thank you.
Miss Grand Pampanga.
I am a news anchor, and I have reported the world suffer. Wars destroying homes, violence stealing dreams, and calamities taking lives. Yet through every heartbreaking story, an ounce of hope has always remained in my heart. These stories taught me one truth, that my voice has a purpose beyond the newsroom. Now listen closely to the beat of my heart. In every heart that dares to believe, I dream of a time when I will no longer speak of pain, but of peace. When my stories will no longer echo fear, but harmony, unity, and love. A world without war is not just a dream. It is a decision. And that decision begins with us. Right here, right now. Dakal pong salamat.